Okay. Okay. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Success Strategies Group live teaching and training event. My name is Sheila Skolnick, founder of Success Strategies Group, and our mission is to teach and train you all how to grow your business. Today, we're going to have the wonderful Becky Auer speaking, and Michael will introduce her. But before Becky comes on, and Michael, I just want to give you just a little teaching here. You all ready for this? Do you have a pen and paper? You don't have to if you don't want it. This is how I sold to my clients. I created a multi-million-dollar business and sold it to a $6 billion company. So here we go. Before you even try to sell to your clients and create a business and create a relationship with them, you need to find out what the customer needs. Most salespeople just come in and throw up all over the customer, telling them what they sell. And believe me, the customer wants to either hang up on you, or if you're at a meeting, they want to walk away. So start off with, what do you do? Okay, just don't start into what you sell and throw up on them. I'm using the word throw up because I want you to remember. So here are three things that I used to say to my clients, that I used to ask my clients. And how do I know they were the good thing to say? Because I sold to them. So how do you know if something's working or not working? Did you make money, or did you make progress with them? First of all, have a pen and pad ready to write their answers. Look into their eyes when they're speaking. Make them feel you care and that what they're saying is important. And of course it's important. That's why you woke up in the morning and got dressed, because you wanted to sell something. Ask them these three questions. What are you looking for that other salespeople are not giving you? 2, what prices are you looking for that other salespeople aren't giving you? And 3, what deliveries or services do you require that other vendors can't give you or don't give you? And before you answer, pause, like you're thinking about it, because you better be thinking about it, and answer them. If you don't have the answer, just say, I'll get back to you. I will get back to you. And they'll respect that, rather than thinking, another person commenting on me. And I just want to ask you, does everyone know, go to the bottom of the screen, and do you see where it says chat? It's in the middle of the screen. Bring your cursor down to the middle of your screen, and I want you to press chat. Okay, you got pressing chat? And mine says to everyone, if this is the kind of teaching you'd like me to do again and expound upon it, just write sales, just type sales in. And then I'll know that this is relevant for you and you want to do it again. Okay, so now Michael would like to say something to my small but wonderful group. Michael?
Hey, good morning, everybody, and I welcome to Success Strategies Group. Before I introduce Becky, I just wanted to say a couple things. There is an end in sight. There is a time when we will all be working at full tilt again. There is a time when all the wheels will be back on the train and we can get started again doing commerce. And the only way that we're really going to be hitting the ground running is if we prepare now for those days, and they're coming right around the corner. So if we just sit back and just wait, we're going to be late. So today, after we get off the screen here today, after you hang up on Zoom, I want you to start planning for those days that you're going to be working, and that you're going to be seeing your customers, and that you're going to be out there planning and selling and doing all those great things and meeting people once again at networking groups. I don't know what it's all going to really look like. I don't know what what things are going to be out there that we're going to have to do differently. I'm sure there's going to be different things. I'm sure networking groups aren't going to look the same as they do now. But at the same time, you can prepare, and you can prepare your strategy. You can prepare your thought process. You can prepare what you're going to say and how you're going to leap into that next thing. People's cash flow is going to be all screwed up. So you have to think about that. You have to think about all the different things that you're going to run into. And that's my words of wisdom for today. I want to now introduce to you our guest. And Becky will be, as she's speaking, she's going to be working with everybody and feeding back, getting questions. We like to create a back and forth here on our success strategies group so that we have input from the members, which is very important to us. But Becky is, I guess she's calling herself a serial entrepreneur. And she's built 3 companies, and she's sold 3 companies, and has done extremely well. She has hundreds of workshops. She's located right now in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and she's there with her mother. And so it's a case where Becky has been there, done that, and we like that kind of person advising other people. So I guess without any further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Becky Auer, our special guest for today. Thank you, Becky.
I like that. Thank you. Hey, thanks, Michael, and thanks, Sheila, for having me on today. As Michael said, I've done so many different things with so many different businesses of my own and teaching clients throughout. So I work best with a PowerPoint. All my presentations and everything that I've done, I use PowerPoint, but I would love to help you and, stop and put in the chat and answer any questions as we go through this. So I always prepare a little bit too much. So if we run over time, I'll stop early. But anyway, thank you for having me. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we'll get started. Okay. All right, can y'all see the PowerPoint? Okay, cool. All right, so I run a local meeting here where we help businesses generate more leads, convert more sales, and catapult business owners' profits. And what I usually like to say is that I know being an entrepreneur is lonely. I have done it for many, many years, and it's so ironic, really, that everybody now has to stay at home, right? Because I'm used to staying at home. I don't really do much other than from my laptop and when I do presentations and keynote speaking. So it is lonely, and I have always tried to create, like Sheila has in this group, a safe place, right? A safe place where people can come and talk and be like, well, my spouse doesn't support me or my partner disagrees with me. And it's just kind of a safe haven because being an entrepreneur is one of the loneliest things that you can do. Do you guys agree with that? Give me a thumbs up if you agree with that. Yeah, so I understand what that looks like. I would suggest as I go through the presentation today that when you step outside of your comfort zone, that's where the magic really happens. And so it's really hard to do. Like a lot of people don't even know how to use Zoom yet, right? Or, a lot of these online tools, and you're forced into it. So a lot of people are stepping outside of their comfort zone. But you will see that is where the magic happens. Okay, so just a quick, I say none of this to brag, just to let you know, I've been probably where you are and I can offer some help to what you're doing. So I've owned 3 multi-million-dollar businesses. I was voted number 20 top business coach. I've run a gazillion workshops, do a lot of fundraising for the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation because my daughter has CF, which is a lung, it mainly affects her lungs, and she was diagnosed at 4 months old, and she's now 22, and she's self-isolating, thank goodness. But I just say all that so you know that you're in the right place with Sheila's group and with our presentation today. So what I would like to talk about is how to lead and engage and communicate with your audience during the pandemic, whether you're a business owner, whether you, have your hands tied a little bit like Mark, right? Because he has a barbecue and he doesn't see his customers. So how can you engage with people and stay relevant during this time? So what I'm going to go over today are 7 ways to lead during the crisis, how to run a live group session with your audience, and then when you communicate, you have to write good copy. It's just necessary. So the first steps in everything that you write. So 7 ways to lead and communicate during crisis, because that is what's happening right now. Small business owners, whether you're still getting paid by clients or whether you have your hands tied, like restaurant owners and things like that, you are still the leader. No matter what you are doing, you still should lead. And if you don't know how to do that, you have to learn pretty quickly on how to do that. You have to be, just like Michael said, you have to be the one who offers hope and who offers an outlet and offers ways to be able to lead your troop or your peeps or whatever you call them, your tribe. So here are some of the things that I do, right? And that I think will help you is just focus on this week helping 10 people. And if that seems overwhelming to you, then just focus on helping 1. Just a little story on how I'm doing that. I was sharing earlier with Michael that one of my neighbors, or my neighbor who I can walk right next door to, was married 63 years. Her husband died, and she came over to me when we got put on stay at home here in Pittsburgh. And she's like, I know you don't want me in your house, but I'm so lonely. And I used to go to bed at night and think, what am I looking forward to the next day? And she said, and now there's nothing. I'm not allowed to go out and things like this. So I said, Dolly, you need a purpose. I said, you can sew. Why don't you start sewing masks? And that one thing, helping her, went on to, I posted on Facebook, and one of my No BS, I run the No BS marketing meetings. One of my No BS members said, oh my gosh, I saw your post and I have all these people on the front line that work for hospitals and nursing care facilities and they don't have masks. So we started the Sewing for Masks group. So by starting, which now has over 800 members and has taken on a life of its own, and it's a little overwhelming, I gotta say. But by focusing on helping 1 person, you see all the additional things that goes on. So if you focus on just 1, and if you're really good at that, go to 2 and go to 10. Even if you reach out to 2 people a day, it will show that you're the leader and that you're communicating with them. Make sure to look at your skill sets and what skills you're good at and how it's going to make the most impact to those people. So maybe, I don't know if Barry's on, but Barry's a web designer, right? So his skill is like tech. He can do tech. I'm not very good at tech, but whatever your skill set is, that's what you should be offering to people right now. So it is a perfect time, just like Michael said, to get prepared, because this will end, whether it's tomorrow, whether it's the end of the year, whether it's somewhere in between. And you want to be prepared to reach out to your people. If you don't have a database and you don't have an email list right now to reach out to your people, that is mistake number 1. That's okay. We won't look at mistakes, but you need to have a way to capture their name and their email address. And if you don't have that and a way to segment that, that's one thing that you can work on today that will help you. Connect with your clients personally. So whether that's a Zoom call like this where you get to see me, or whether it's just a phone call, maybe people don't know how to use Zoom, you should be connecting with your clients. Again, just offering help. Is there anything I can do for you? Do you have any problems, any issues, anything I can help you with? They will appreciate it and they will remember it. Address mindset issues before looking at challenges. So, Maritza's a good one to reach out for that. My daughter has anxiety and depression. I've never had anxiety and depression. I don't know how to help her through this, right? So I go and read articles and try and get her through. But if someone is in that situation, when you reach out to them, refer them to somebody that can help them. I'm not a mindset expert, and I always refer that out. Number 5 is focus on the major challenges that you can help with before you move to the little things. Like if you are a financial expert and they're having financial challenges, again, that's not my expertise. My expertise is communication and marketing and PR and how to help them with that. Always refer out if it's not your strong suit. They will appreciate you for not being like, oh, I know everything about everything, and will come back and look forward or appreciate you for doing that. And then number 6 is lead by example with your own actions, right? We started that Sewing for Angels Facebook group because we wanted to help people. And again, it's taken on a life of its own. With my people that are in my No BS marketing group, I opened it up to the whole world. You know, and we had 98 people register and 58 people show up. And like, I'm just, right now, I feel like you should not be out selling, that you should be sharing. And the more that you do that, the more that it will come back to you when people can either afford you again or are ready to take that next step. And then just keep your channels open for communication. If you're not accessible, they're going to go to somebody else because they need answers. So those are 7 ways right this second that you can lead and communicate during the crisis. Now, I know Sheila went over this. She did a whole like Zoom teaching for people that don't know how to use Zoom, but I wanted to share a couple other resources. Number 1 is, I love this post. So if you're just doing audio, you don't got to look like this, right? But if you're doing meeting with video, I say, look, it's still a business meeting. So you should still, get dressed up. You should still put some makeup on and things like that. So it's one of my favorite memes that are out there right now. So Zoom is the most popular. Sheila had to add a code because people are getting hacked with, weirdos that show porn and things like that. But Zoom is a great tool where you can get people to register. So if you don't have a database yet, you can get people to register, and that will give you their name and their email address. You can request like cell phone and address, their like physical address and things like that. I would suggest not to do that. Just collect first name, last name, and email address, because then you can reach back out to them. Okay, so you can see Sheila's training on the Zoom. If you don't know how to use Zoom or if you don't feel comfortable, she did a training on it. I did a training on it with my people because people don't know how to use this. There's another service called Loom, Loom, and it is a video recording tool that helps you get your message instantly. So you literally put it up in your toolbar or whatever, like on Chrome, it's an extension, and I can record a quick video. I use this all the time with my virtual assistants and my graphic designers. So I don't want to have to type everything up. I want to push a button, record what I'm talking about, and then push stop. In Loom, just automatically puts a link up that I can then copy and share without having to put any typed directions. When I tell you, if I can use it, anybody can use it. Loom is great because it's so super simple. Have anybody out there, anybody used Loom before? I can only see like 6 people at a time. So put in the chat if you use Loom, because it's really, really a great tool to use. I also use, when I do my VIP and mastermind calls, I have people call in on free conference call, and it is totally free. But one really cool, and it gets recorded, and you don't have to use your storage space. But now they have added video. And so there's a lot of options out there if you want face-to-face, and that is what I suggest using, because people, again, if you don't know them, or like if I said, hey, Maritza, I need you to talk to this person like today, like they're having a hard time, and that person that I'm referring has access to video, they're going to feel much more comfortable seeing you. And if she does any EFT or anything like that, she'll be able to demonstrate it. Okay, so those are 3 tools for being able to go live. Number 4 is a service called StreamYard, which I absolutely love. If you've used StreamYard, drop it in the chat. Let me see if I can get the chat up here. Chat. Whoop, whoop. Okay, yeah, I see a couple of you. Oh, never heard of Loom, Nancy? Yeah, it's awesome. Okay, you guys, Maritza, you'll love it too. Awesome. So if you haven't heard of StreamYard, it too is awesome. So like if you guys, one of the coolest, easiest ways, and Joe has been capitalizing on this, I gotta say, to add value to your tribe is to interview somebody. And it doesn't have to be long. Like Joe reached out to me and says, hey, do you wanna be like on my, I forget what you're calling it, Joe, pandemic promotion. And I said, yeah, I'll come on. It was literally 8 minutes long. Him on one side, me on the other. He asked me 3 questions. I busted him out, and then he shared it out to everybody. And I have yet to share it out because I've been so busy with this sewing group and helping my people. So I'm going to do that this week. But it's just a way to add value back to your people. StreamYard is cool because you schedule a broadcast, and then you can bring people on when the broadcast goes live. You can have up to 6 people on a screen. But what's really cool is when somebody comments on Facebook, on the comment section, you can click on it and pull it over. And so like if Joe was interviewing me and somebody was watching us live and they said, I have a question about this, you can actually pull it up on the screen, and it just makes you look so uber professional. So check out StreamYard. It's a free service. The beauty of StreamYard is if you are a business coach like me and you want to go out and stream live as you're doing it to several different places like YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook group, your personal Facebook page, your public figure page, StreamYard will and can do that, and it's very awesome. So check out StreamYard. Next is anybody here use Canva for graphics? Yeah, Maritza. Okay, Canva, again, for those that are not graphic designers, but don't want to pay somebody to do a graphic design when all you want is like a Facebook post or something with your logo on. Super uber simple. Canva, canva.com. It's free. It is the easiest to use. You can also, just like StreamYard, you can have a paid version. You don't need it. Canva, you can have a paid version. You don't need it. They have photos that are royalty free that you can use. It's great. Okay. So this is what the Zoom screen looks like. Just because I'm a visual person, I always like people to know what the Zoom screen looks like. This is what Loom looks like when you're logging into Loom. And this is what StreamYard looks like. It has that little duck. But this is like what a StreamYard, I was doing interviews with my No BS member Sana and Jean Fetty. And so you can put 3 up to 6 people and then pull all these comments over. This is our Sewing for Angels group. So this is also through StreamYard. So you can make these, this is like a transparent overlay, right? That just, I made it through Canva. Super simple to do. And then I just go on and we interview our sewers and our volunteers. And these are, right now I was interviewing, this is a fellow who owns a restaurant. He is a drop-off facility. And this is Becky K. She's down in Pleasant Hills and she does pick up and drop off. And we were just inviting people to, so this is like, I just clicked on this and we are participating in a Million Mask Challenge. And I can click on it and it comes up, and I can click on it and it goes away. And you can create any kind of banner like that for yourself. So it's super, super simple. And then you can even have like a little ticker that just goes about, like on Good Morning America, you know, the ticker at the bottom of the page, you can have a ticker that goes through. And so I ran the GoFundMe page on what that looks like. Or so people could donate. And it's actually really cool. And if you just get in there and play around with it, like I didn't know what I was doing the first time I did it, but you can go on and, you know, do it with a friend or something just to get some practice. I would also suggest when you use these things, like one of the things that I talk to my restaurant clients about, and Mark, you know, I don't know if you agree with me or not, but like I said, look, you guys can do virtual lessons. And they are out there doing it. So this is one of my restaurant clients. He's a mixologist and bartender, and he owns a restaurant, and he does a mixology class every night. And it's just, he goes on, He doesn't look perfect. I said, just if you do that, make sure everything's clean and sterile, because he was still offering pickup and delivery. And then he got his chef involved. So they do a cooking class every night, and they do a mixology class every night. And they're staying top of mind with their clients and customers out there, because they had a list, and every night they shoot out and say, hey, we're going live, you know, join us. So it's a perfect way to do virtual classes and lessons right now. This is Mary Beth. This is the woman who I'm doing the Sewing for Angels group. And I just did an interview with her, but again, virtually, right? Because you have to keep social distancing. This is a friend of mine who's a No BS member. She's a little bit like Maritza. She does mindset and, you know, things like that. But she just gets in her car because she has kids and a husband. And she just sits her butt on down in the car, and she does like a live broadcast. And people jump on, and like, it's more transparent you are, the more people like you. I don't exactly know why that is. I guess they're thinking, you know, they're not hiding anything. But her name is Sharice, and she's awesome. Other virtual lessons. So like if you have some kind of skill that where you can help the kids, they're all home with the parents right now. This No BS member offered virtual violin lessons. So she's making a little bit of money that way. She offered like 3 classes for free, and then they could, you know, join in. And then this is a group that I run this is my mastermind member, Lou and Joe. Yes,
Sonia, could you please mute your mic, please? Okay. And also, I'd like to ask Becky at this moment, does anyone have any questions on any of these things so she can address it? Just unmute yourself and ask her, because I know you have to have questions. How do I know? Because I have questions, but you guys go first.
Becky, I hate to interrupt you. I was going to wait until the end, but the whole time you were talking, I was thinking, this is great. This is wonderful. And I do a lot of Facebook PSAs, but I'm wondering how to drive the traffic, because that's the one thing that's a big challenge for me.
Great question.
Yeah, it's a great question. So Nancy, unmute yourself again, because you deal with people, right? So a couple different things that you can do. You can take the list of clients that you already have. You obviously have emails and so on. And I know since you're a lawyer, there's obviously some restrictions, right? But if you just send out, if you can take all your emails, put them into an Excel spreadsheet, and use like a service like Active Campaign, where you can segment. So like there's so many people looking for work right now. You could literally get a virtual, a virtual assistant to go through your list and then say, okay, I'm going to go through this list with you, and we're going to tag people. One might be a client that needed help with X, and another is a client that needed help with, so they're all going to fall into like bowls, right? If you think of it as bowl mentality. And so like for my No BS meeting, I have silver members, VIP members, mastermind members, and prospects. So I talk differently to each one of those groups because they pay at a different level. And then people that are prospects, I talk to them differently than people that are already members. So you would do exactly the same thing and use a service. There's free services like Aweber, Constant Contact, or MailChimp. But it seems to me, Nancy, for you, that would be best. It's like for $9 a month, you can join Active Campaign, and it allows you to segment properly. So that's what I would suggest for you. So you can then tag people. So make your bowls up. The easiest way to do that is to say, who have I serviced in the past? So you're always going to have prospects, people who aren't clients yet, but then what types of clients have you serviced? And that's client A, B, and C. It's usually about 3 or 4 types of people. And then you talk to each one of them differently.
Becky, I'm sorry. Could you say in detail what A, B, and C is?
Well, I won't know for Nancy's business, but
General.
for my business, it's silver members, VIP members, and mastermind members, and then prospects.
Okay, so I had a virtual assistant who put all my contacts into an Excel spreadsheet, and I don't know how to manipulate it.
Yeah, me neither. I hate Excel. However, there are people on a service called Fiverr, Fiverr.com. It's literally for $5 will take your list and import it into whatever email service you want to use. Okay, and then once it's in there, you can go back to Fiverr and type in active campaign, and somebody in there will be from the Philippines or somewhere, or you can join a virtual assistant Facebook group and just say, hey, I need an Excel spreadsheet imported into active campaign and then tagged, as per my specificity. And you're gonna have to spend some time with them that first time. But then if you like how the virtual assistant works, and I always say, this is my budget. So like, I don't offer a whole lot, maybe $20 to do that. Depends on how big your list is, right?
Awesome.
But yeah, it's so super simple. People are desperate for work right now.
So the traffic is really limited to the people that I already know. Because
No, you can do paid traffic. Like nobody's advertising on Facebook right now. I don't know that I would suggest that for you. Have you ever used a service called Alignable?
I don't know anything about that.
Oh my God, Alignable is like the epitome of easy and good. So if all you businesses that are on the line here, if you are not listing yourself or your business on Alignable, it's really you list your business. It's not about you at all. You must go list your business on Alignable and you must get connections. And Sheila, what I would suggest is to post on your page between now and the next time for everybody to go and recommend everybody that's on this call each other. So I would go and say, I've used Nancy's service in the past and she is organized and, knows her stuff. If I've never used her stuff, you know what I mean? But I want to give her a thumbs up, a recommendation. And once you get 5 recommendations on Alignable, you get seen more often. And Alignable now has a thing that we can all join that's called the local, they just rolled it out literally like 3 days ago, called the local expert or something like that. And all of you that are on this call are local experts. So like you should all go and apply to be a local expert on Alignable. And all that means is that you answer questions and that you don't have to answer everyone.
Check that. I have heard of it and I do get email from them. I'm sorry, I do. However, because I'm an attorney, I am constrained from recommending other people's businesses. So that's part of my challenge. And I'm sorry, I have heard of Alignable. So that's why I kind of ignore those emails because I can't start recommending other businesses. I'm not allowed to do that.
Yeah, well, that's okay. You don't have to recommend, but you can certainly answer questions.
Okay. Oh,
yeah. Right. So, I mean, I just did that as a little inside success strategies group that we all just recommend each other because it will help you get to the top quicker. Cool. Right. So I can still recommend you, but things like that. So, but you can still go answer questions. And here's my trick about answering questions, whether you're in a separate Facebook group or you're on Alignable or wherever you are, do not just give a one-line answer. I would take the time and make your answer as long as possible. Why is that, Becky? Well, because people that read that question will be like, damn, Nancy knows her stuff. And now she's reaching out to Nancy or to Sheila or to Mark about how to put up a restaurant under a tent, right? So the longer your answer and more detailed it is, and you feel sometimes like, oh, I'm giving away too much stuff, you'll get more business from that. And then when somebody asks that same question, like 2 weeks from now, you can say, oh my gosh, John, I just answered that question. Here's a link to it. And they go right back and you don't have to rewrite it. So just keep it separately, like in a Microsoft Word document. Deborah, I think of you when I think of this answer, like you have so many products and so many things that you can share that you can literally say, hey, for literally no money. I think when we were in the Mark's group, the Shameless Promotion, right? Dennis Richards talked about his Post-it notes. And Deborah, you could do a whole thing on how to use Post-it notes right now to reach out to your clients and show all the different sizes and things that people don't think of and thinking a little bit outside the box. But whenever you post long answers. Any other questions right now?
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Maritza.
I don't have a question, but I just wanted to mention one thing. Becky, first of all, you rock. This is amazing. And yes, I do mindset work, but I do a lot of business leadership and public speaking work as well. And I want to say this. I took away like 5 things. I won't repeat them because you've done a good job, and I'm sure everybody took them away too, that I will do today just from your presentation. And I just want to say, in terms of driving traffic to PSAs and lives on social media, particularly Facebook, the thing that has not happened yet is that they have not impeded us from speaking about what we know, what we do, what our product and services are on our personal Facebook. And sometimes we shy away from that because actually it's more difficult to be our professional self in front of friends and family. But I will tell you this, that is where most of your friends, followers, and real fans are, is on your personal Facebook. So what I have been taught and what I practice and see is that you show up, first of all, consistently on that Facebook, not just as a PSA, but just conversationally bringing value somehow generously to that audience, and then share it onto your business page, share it onto your group. So now you're using multiple repurposing of the same video or the same post, but you're starting where you have hundreds or thousands of people. And then you're always asking them, go ahead and share this. You find value, you took something away from this, share it with your audience. There's nothing impeding you from doing that. If you sell a lot on there, this isn't the time to do that, as Becky already said. Then they may stop you. But if you're just bringing value, they will continue to let you do that on your personal page, and then you channel it elsewhere.
It's a great point, Maritza. And look, the more that you can be out there answering questions, like Nancy, you have so much background, right? And I don't mean to pick on you. Would like to pile on with Maritza, is that—
No, go ahead. I'm happy to be your—
if you can help anybody right now, like even maneuver through how to apply for the $10,000 loan, right? Here's the link. All you have to do is share that. And then people are like, oh, I don't want to mess it up. I'm going to hire Nancy, or whatever you can do right now to help somebody get more income in, or to help with their employees, or anything like that. And just share that information. It's not about hire me. It's let me help you. And that's really what it's all about, in my opinion, right now. And if you post, hey, this coming Wednesday, I'm going to do an Ask Nancy, where I'm going to literally answer any question that you have. Just go to this Zoom link and, register. Make sure you click the button to have them register, because that stops all the weirdos from coming in. But then you have their email and so on, that you can reach back out to them again. So Facebook is what I use. I know, who was a cute gal who I now follow on Instagram. She's awesome. But she like a couple months ago, she did a whole how to use Instagram. And, if that's where go wherever your audience is, whether it's Facebook, Insta, you can even use Pinterest, things like that. So that's
my client base uses Facebook to stalk their grandchildren. So
there you go. Perfect. Because nobody's really advertising right this second. So even if you dumped $100 into, I would work with somebody who knows better. I think Barry does that too, Facebook ads and things like that, because you can lose $100 in like 3 seconds. So hire a professional, put the money up, have them go to your free thing. And look, even if you get even if you get no people, you still do that presentation. And here's how you do it, Nancy. If nobody's shown up, the question I get asked the most, or the question I've gotten asked the most this week, is question that you want to answer. And let me talk you through that, right? So you don't have to have anybody on your live or on your recording. You can just go and bust these out. If you do 10 of the most frequently asked questions and 10 questions that they should be asking, then you have 20 videos that you can guide people back to, and you can do them in the privacy of your own home. So some people are afraid to get on video or to talk or to present or anything like that. Just do your 10 most frequently asked questions and the 10 questions that they should be asking that they don't know to ask, because we don't know what we don't know. You're the expert. So you have to guide us there, okay? So then you have 20 videos that you can use on your website, and you can use on your Facebook groups, and all of those things.
Cool, thank you, that's awesome.
You're welcome.
Anybody else?
I would just like to add, a really great place to learn is by using YouTube. So just go to YouTube and just say, how do I use Alignable, or any of the things that we want to know. Stick your earplugs in your ear and walk. And so while you're walking, because that's what you can only do, you'll be learning. And this is going to sound really weird. Oh, I usually carry a foam cup, a large size foam cup, usually has coffee, a tea in it. And when I hear something that I want to remember, I write on the foam cup. So why do I use the hard surface foam cup? This way I don't have to stop walking. And then when I get home, I got all this data there. Of course, I write it small and I use this pen. But that is a really great way, because we know you're all out there walking, so walk and learn.
I love it.
Michael Lee, are you still with us? Michael, can you hear me?
Unmute yourself if you are.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Any things that you brought out of this so far that you can apply to the real estate business?
Oh man, definitely for sure. Definitely when she was saying I use Canva a lot. I know when you ask me about my pictures a lot, when you see them online, that's what I use most of the time with some of those. Definitely with the education factor, I know a lot of people are concerned about what the housing market's going to do, so I can definitely use that as form of advertisement on my platform when I do it on my Facebook page. So I'm definitely writing down a lot of notes right now.
Great.
And really the most important thing that I'm told all the time is use the time you take for doing the ad for whatever it is, you can use that. It's called repurposing. Just use it everywhere. It's not going to cost you to put it on all these different social media things. Just take it and keep repurposing, and you'll reach millions of people. But like Becky said, which is very important, you got to be careful for your personal Facebook, not to get kicked out because you're selling something. So like she says, just say, here is the answers to questions people ask. Be careful, don't lose your Facebook. But Becky, you're awesome. Awesome.
Thanks.
Who else has questions for Becky?
All right, let's go ahead.
Becky, did I interrupt you in the middle of your presentation? Yes, I did. Would you like to continue with your presentation?
I would, if you would like me to.
I know I gave you a certain time. However, when I see a speaker has tremendous value to offer, the time limit's up. So go, baby.
Okay. All right. Very good. So I just wanted to give you some examples. I'm a visual. I like examples of things. And this is how I ran my most recent mastermind, which was by Zoom, which we always usually meet on in person here in Pittsburgh. But of course, we couldn't do that. So just, again, examples of things that you can do when you have people already in your tribe that you're trying to serve. Okay. Do not be these people. I can't tell you. You're going to get on there. Nance, I'm picking on you again. You're going to get on there and you're going to do this great presentation. And then you're going to look back and you're going to be like, oh, I look terrible. Okay. Do you note, everyone, how the camera is kind of coming down on me? Okay, I do that for two reasons. One is because I got a little something going on here, as us women do. And this is what I use. And I should have cleaned up the desk, but it is an adjustable laptop stand. So it just raises up your laptop enough that you can point it down at you. And when I tell you, you will thank me 10 times over for this one tip, you will thank me 100 times over. I get the comment all the time, how do you look so good? And I'm like, well, I have really good lighting. And what they want to know is this secret right here, the adjustable laptop stand. You can move it. You can take it anywhere. It doesn't have to stay in one place. I could broadcast from my kitchen or out on the porch or whatever. Get one for $40. It's on Amazon. And make sure you have good lighting. Okay, quickly then, the first steps to everything that you write. You don't just want to throw up, as Sheila said. You don't want to just give out information. You want to create an experience for your visitors whenever they visit your website or whenever they see you on your Facebook page or whatever. And the easiest way to do that is to speak directly to them. I'm sure you've had training in the past, so I won't beat a dead horse, Sheila, but it's like all about talking to one person specifically. That's why when I was going over with Nancy, the buckets that you have, you want to speak to those people differently. You speak to a prospect differently than you speak to a person who's already a client. You speak to that person who's in my silver group differently than I would speak to my mastermind person, because they're more elevated, right? They've already made my value ladder and gone up from there. But when you talk and when you write any kind of copy for, like I do a lot of writing copy. And so right now I'm doing a flyer for one of my members who has an awning business because he wants to get prepared, just like Michael said, for the future. And when I tell you I'm glad this is not going live, his awning was the absolute worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life, but you can't say that, right? He sends it to me. He's like, what do you think? And I'm like, okay, I think this needs a little work and I can help you, or I can give you resources and you can go do it yourself. And he's like, you know what? I don't have time. Just, I'll just pay you. So, but when I'm writing that awning flyer right now, I'm speaking to one person. And when you do that, it makes such a difference when that one person picks it up and reads it. I'm talking about their pain points and they're in their mind going, oh, that's me. Oh, that's me. Oh, that's me. And everything leads back to you are the expert. So step one, put yourself in your visitor's place. What does that look like, right? What do they want to know when they come to your website? And if you don't have a website, get with Barry. He's so freaking inexpensive to get even just a one-page website put up where you can talk to that one client who, so again, for Nancy's business, and she volunteered to jump on, right? So Nancy, I would say go and find out who you already know who it is. Who is your best client? Who's paid you year after year? Who is that person? Is it a middle-aged woman who went through divorce, right? Whoever that person is, that's who you want to speak to. Okay, so put yourself in the visitor's place for when they come there. Know who your ideal client is, and then you're just gonna talk to that person. You're gonna wanna find out these couple things. Who is the client that you find that you can help the most? What do you typically share with them? Like, what things do they wanna know? What are you sharing with them? What's your process to achieve positive results with that client? The more detailed on that you can be, the better, because you're answering those questions. What is she currently, when I say she, I work with a lot of women, but it's them, right? So what are they totally frustrated with right now? If you can help them through that, you are like the epitome of everything. What is their immediate goal? What's going to take them from step A to step B? When you write about those things and they're reading this, they're going, oh, yes, yes, yes. Okay.
Can I
yes.
interrupt you for one quick second?
Sure.
I liken this to having a panic attack. So right now, the whole world's having a big panic attack. They're all shallow breathing, right? And when you're in a panic attack, you can't think, you can't breathe, you don't know what you want. You think the toilet paper is going to save you.
That's right.
Right. So I understand that, but my pain point now is getting from the shallow breathing to understanding that having your documents in place is the thing that's going to save you and protect your legacy, not the toilet paper. And I can't get past that shallow breathing part. Do you have any advice around that?
Yeah, look, you just have to address the elephant in the room, and that's kind of your job right now. Like, I wouldn't sugarcoat it. Look, it's fact. People are dying, and they're dying by the boatloads, and it's unfortunate, and it's so sad. Like, that's why we started the mass group. But you are able to go and help all of those people out there. And one of the things I would do, Nancy, like there's I would offer a free resource for anybody who can't hire you right now. There's a place, I just downloaded it. Oh my gosh, I'll have to share the link after this, but it's a place where you can go for free and write up your will and, put your kids in there and all of those things. And it's a free resource. And Nancy, you might think, well, that's not going to help me. Yes, it is, because people will so appreciate that, and will be more prepared when they come to you if they have more complex estate planning problems, right? So they may even fill all that out and then send it to you, or have an online meeting with you and say, look, I got to this point and I didn't exactly know what to do because I have 2 houses and I want to leave one house to this child and one, right? So you offer that as a free service. And there's a place, do you guys ever hear of PLR? Public or private label rights? Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm so glad I brought it up. So private label rights, I'll send you a link where you can, or I'll send it to Sheila and she can send it out to you, where private label rights are things that are already created that you can use as your own. So like if you're not creative, or if you don't know how to do a presentation, like a PowerPoint like this or whatever, you can literally go into a site that I'm going to give you. I know the owner, he is 100% legit. He's been around forever, and download private label rights that you can literally put your name on as your own. And I wouldn't suggest using it word for word, but because you are going to know more than that private label right person who actually wrote the article on it. And I'll give you a link where you can get 10 free credits, and go with those 10 free credits, you can download like 10 articles that you can call your own. You can download a whole PowerPoint presentation like this. You can download ways to do group coaching. There's so much stuff that he has. So if you do any kind of mindset, Maritza, and you don't want to create it yourself, you can download it, tweak it, call it your own. Private label rights are the best, easiest thing out there if you don't like creating content. Like I love creating content, but a lot of people don't, right? So I'll share that link with you guys, but you have to use it to get 10 credits. You can go to his site. I don't want to give you the wrong site because it has a weird ending. But anyway, if you use my link, it does nothing other than get you 8 more credits instead of 2.
Becky, if you send it to me, like you said you were going to, I will send it to my entire group.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, you'll love it. You'll love it if you need to create content. Okay, I hope I answered your question.
Well, if you didn't, it doesn't matter. You gave us more data.
I know. I'm so sorry. I feel a little like I'm throwing up, but I like to get this.
No, you're not. Listen, you're not throwing up.
Well, I'm almost done, so you're good. So it's all good. All right. So again, talking to that person when they come to your site, or when they come into, read a brochure, whatever you've created, what is their major goal? What's going to get them from point A to point B? If you can address that, that's going to position you as the expert. What's their immediate problem and how can you help them? Right now, for a lot of business owners, it's financial. For people, not like Nancy, it's estate planning, right? If they don't have something set up now and they're in the hot zone, they need to get something set up. And so it's an immediate problem, or their biggest problem. What do you get feedback about? Like when somebody works with you, what do they say? Oh, this helped me so much. Like I feel like one of my gifts is I'm a resource person. Like anytime anybody needs something, they come to me. I don't know if it's because I'm on the internet too much, but like I know of all these different websites and all these different places you can get like free stuff for, no cost. It's actually really great stuff. So like I feel like I give back a lot in those ways with my group and the people that follow me. How do you help your avatar the most? What is the one thing I always say you have to like doing it, or it's going to come through that you don't like doing it. So how do you help them the most? And who don't you want to work with? That's an important thing to know too. If you don't like to work with a specific kind of person, or, a client who's trouble, look, you're not for everybody. If you don't like how I wave my hands around, or you don't like my blue shirt, you're not one of my peeps, right? Like, that's okay. We're not for everybody. So I'm sure those people. I don't like troublemakers. They're out, like in our sewing group. Oh, somebody commented funny, block. Like, I don't have time to deal with that person when I got 799 other people who are over the top ecstatic to help us make masks, right? Same with my business coaching group. They just know. They've been with me for years and years and years. Like, I'm an up person, right? So anybody who's a naysayer, out. I don't have time, right? The money's not worth it for me to put up with them. So know who you don't want to work with, and then what they want more of, because then that's where you shine, right? That's where you shine. Okay, so step 3, just authentically claim your authority and be your brand in all that you do. Look, I couldn't do a sewing group on top of everything else I'm doing if I didn't really want to help those healthcare workers. Well, why do I want to do that? Well, let's see, my daughter's been in the hospital at least 12 times in 22 years, and I see what they go through. I cannot imagine every day showing up without having the proper, just a mask to cover your face. You know what I mean? So you have to be authentic or people will just see right through you. So I did this. So how I said to always look your best on camera. Okay, so I did an impromptu training with one of my members who said, look, I want to use StreamYard. I don't know how to do it. Will you just get on a call with me? So I was in my sweatshirt. I had no makeup on, but I did an actually really great training, just her and I, one-on-one, and I recorded it on how to use StreamYard and Canva to make your post that goes, or your graphic that goes in StreamYard. I'm happy to share it out. Just don't judge me on the clothing. I'll send it to Sheila. And I will also, I also offer this all day long at $97 a month. And I created a whole e-learning program that has done for you marketing of over $1 million, weekly emails and videos. It's normally $97 a month, and I would like to gift that to you for 6 months, and you guys can get in there and take a look around. But it's a lot of the stuff that I use in that program is what I teach my business coaches and things like that. So I'm happy to offer that out to the group just for Sheila and Mike having me on. So again, that's it for me. I'm happy to answer any other questions that you guys might have.
Becky, I really thank you. It's 8:30 and we always close on time. So whoever would like to stay on is welcome on for another 15 minutes. And I thank you for all of this, Becky. It really was valuable information. And
Good.
yeah, for sure. And I just want to say before I leave, if you're interested in becoming a member, when you become a member, there's much more to get. It's $27 a month, and you get a lot. So if you would like to, just go down to your chat and just write M for member, and I'll call you and let you know what you get for your $27 a month. So just go to your chat and where it says chat, and just write M, and I'll call you and let you know what you'll get. In the meantime, I'm going to sign off. And remember what Michael says, you need to prepare now for when we sell again. So you want to be the best. So learn what you don't know that you don't even know that you don't know. That's what success is. So I'd like to sign off and tell everybody have an awesome day. And me and Michael are going to do our sign off words.
So long,
farewell, Auf Wiedersehen. We got
adieu.
Adieu. Hey, okay. So at any rate, I'm going to unmute you now and say goodbye to you. And if you have any questions, just put it in the chat and I'll get back to you. Put it in the chat. It's right there on the bottom, the orange thing. And okay, so I'll say goodbye. You know what? Let's go 15 minutes more if you want to stay on. So who has a question for Becky? I think Michael Lee or somebody had a question for Becky.
Deborah did. I think she might have bumped off.
Okay. All right. I guess that's it. Thank you. I'm eternally grateful for your wisdom and knowledge, Becky. So glad you're my friend.
Yeah.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Catch you, sister.
Okay. Bye-bye. And of course, Michael will edit this and you'll see it on Zoom so you can so you can
Look at
review
it again.
the wonderful things she said. Okay, bye everybody, and thank you. Oh, I just wanted to tell, did I tell you for $27 you could join our group?
Yep.
I forget. So just put it in chat and I'll let you know what you get. So bye everybody, signing off from Jupiter, Florida.